Good morning, Dr. Go and my fellow friends. Today I'll be presenting my final project. So these are the list of the content I'll be talking about. So introduction to my site, which is Rumah Tangsi. It is a low check-in mansion that has been turned into a event space, and it has been gazetted as the National Heritage in 2012. It's located at Jalan Tangsi, Kuala Lumpur, and the site is surrounded by places like Ibu Pejabat Bukit Aman, Kuala Lumpur Tourism Bureau, St. Mary Cathedral, and various landmarks that are like popular landmarks around the area. And the history of Rumah Tangsi evolved from Chowkit Mansion to an Empire Hotel, the Peninsula Hotel, and then the Pertubuhan Architect Malaysia office. And then after 2 years of restoration, it became Rumah Tangsi now itself. So Rumah Tangsi has retained its original features and architecture post-restoration, and the cultural activities in Rumah Tangsi involves like markets, music sessions, exhibitions, and festive celebrations. So as Rumah Tangsi is located right beside the main highway, so it will cause a lot of potential noise and sound pollution to the area. And the primary source of air pollution at the site would be from the vehicle emission. And the vegetation and the greenscape will be observed that there's not much vegetation on the front of the building, and there were shrubs that were placed around to decorate the landscape of the area. And there's like dense fall trees going on behind the area as well to reduce the heat gain of the building. So the people that usually surround the site would be students and employees, especially around the weekdays, and tourists, as well as worshippers, mainly on Friday and Sunday. And demographics of the area mainly are local adults and teenagers, and students and adult workers that are from the educational institutions and office areas, and also worshippers that frequent the area. So the current of Rumah Tangsi is actually a heritage tourism, where they host also sustainable community events on the weekends, and also a venue for event, and venue for shoots, as well as an educational place. And the future of Rumah Tangsi will be a sustainable heritage placemaking, where the future day will continue to promote culture, heritage, and preservation. And also the heritage building will be enhanced with sustainable features and materials in the development of culture, tourism, business industry. In the project concept, or to be in relation with sustainable trends, development by transforming the current Rumah Tangsi. So the stakeholder analysis would be government, UNECSO, and the National Heritage Department, Cultural Heritage Management, that holds the highest power in the project, design development process, as historians, conservation specialists, heritage building surveyors that should be managed closely, and then NGOs and media that hold the power to influence, like the community should be kept informed with the project, and also the local communities and site managers and building user and tourism that also holds like the lower power to actually kind of like influence the project as well. And a list of case study, the first case study would be Nikon flagship located at Shanghai, China. So the architect wanted to solve the issue of the ever-changing display need in a retail environment and the growing need for flexible retail conditions to accommodate like variety of activities, and also to improve sustainability in the design. So for this flagship store, they use a modular furniture system where they have a wall system of a display grid where they allow flexible and diverse gallery system, and also the ceiling system where it's a perforated stainless steel, and there's power tracks that is integrated between the rings to supply electricity to the stainless steel display booths. So they are actually movable stands that are installed on the curved track. And also the modular display system that are interchangeable, which is the wall system pegboards, where they enable flexible arrangement of the pegs, and they're able to be removed and fixed according to your needs. And also biophilic design for the circular furniture booths, where they also have riveted textures that are inspired by the camera. And also the flexibility of this multifunctional space, where non-static furniture are introduced to accommodate a variety of activities that allows the space to be transformed according to what are their needs at that time. So the sustainable material use are the timber strips, wood, or sustainable. They're sustainable in terms of their recyclable and renewable material, and also stainless steel, where they are durable, long-lasting, and can 100% be recycled, and also terrazzo tiles that are made up of 95% of recycled and reclaimed materials. So the next case study is the Seoul Coffee located in Seoul, Korea. So the architect wanted to solve the preserving and conserving items from the past, and also working around the strength and the weaknesses of the traditional Korean house, and also the unique materiality to capture the identity of the Seoul Cafe. And so the architect preserved and repurposed the old Korean house into this coffee shop by adaptive reuse. So they're actually sustainable because preserving old buildings is definitely more sustainable than demolishing a building and starting from new. And also, it also means like there's less construction materials in the landfills. And then the challenges the architect faced was that the structure was not conducive enough to be used as a cafe. That's why he has to like remove the existing wall and also the ceiling to have natural sunlight to be brought indoors. And also there's no space that is served as a courtyard that will usually add as an interesting touch. So the architect kind of introduced the courtyard as well to bring in like more natural sunlight. And also a careful consideration in which part of the walls or the structures to be dismantled and which part should be left intact. And he have an eye for like the interesting patterns or the interesting mates so that the walls will be left intact. And also to give the unique identity in respect to traditional Korean house, but by incorporating similar new items that can be contributed to the space, and also changing the details for a purpose of old or used materials, and also materials that trigger nostalgia, like glass blocks that commonly used back then, and also to emphasize on natural aspects such as granite or gravel in the materiality. Now, here are some other material that they use that are sustainable. So firstly, they have the glass block, the concrete, and then the granite seating, the plants, and then the wood furniture, and then the glass roof, along with the concrete tiles wall, and the concrete block wall, and also timber strips that run around the flooring. And then the last case study would be the floating nest house, which is located in Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam. So the architect wanted to solve the issue of severe west sunlight and also to make use of the natural lighting and the natural ventilation around the site, along with the sustainable material. So the building facade is made out of bamboo woven screen facade that can naturally like filters the light and create this interesting shadow. And also it acts as a sunshade that filters the light in. And bamboo is a highly sustainable material as well. And other than that, they also use these CNC iron partitions as sunshades on like balconies and so on. To reduce the structural weight, they uses the sunshades that are made out of thin iron sheets. As iron is a sustainable material that can be fully recycled. And the material palette they use is combining of traditional and contemporary, which is bamboo and wood and glass and iron. And also a small garden to separate the spaces, by creating this smooth spatial transition and ensuring that all spaces are in contact with nature, and also biophilic design to integrate greeneries and maintain the connection of nature throughout. And the sustainable material palette also includes like the wooden door, the interior plant, the wooden glass door, timber flooring and stairs, and also interior plants again, and iron panel, bamboo screen, wooden furniture finishing, and also terrazzo flooring. So the analysis for the similarities would be that all case studies shows the use of natural source material, whether 100% recyclable, and also nature-inspired theme is spotted across them, which is seen to be connecting human to nature to create this calming presence. And also all case studies shows the use of sustainable materials and incorporation of materials to the site and also the brand identity. And then differences are the building type, obviously, like a retail, a coffee shop, and a residential, and also a sustainable design strategy where all of them have different strategy to cater to different issues as well. So the selection of proposed application, the first one would be the sustainable material that is inspired by case study 1, 2, and 3. And the reason why is because it creates a healthy environment by helping to reduce the carbon footprint with construction, and also it helps with people's well-being in the long term. So the materials selected are stainless steel terrazzo, timber strip glass, stone plants, and ceramic tiles. And it will help to enhance the indoor quality and also reduce the demand for raw materials. So it will be applied to my interior space in terms of most of the walls and partitions for the gallery, as you can see in the renders shown. And also the second selection would be preserving and conserving the heritage of buildings by adaptive reuse and unique identity to the culture by reusing the existing building and also preserving like the facade and so on. That will help to reduce like any energy usage associated with demolition and also waste disposal and new construction. So the application would be in the reuse of existing structures, which are remain like the staircase, the walls, some of the walls and structures, the windows and the door, and also to reuse the existing encaustic tile flooring and also replace the damaged ones with similar tiles that are built with superior craftsmanship and materials that support a long physical life, and also retaining the existing open courtyard and then for natural daylight and ventilation, and also maintaining the facade of the Rumah Tangsi, helping to preserve something of value to the community. And the last selection would be biophilic design, which is inspired by case study 1. And it is by using natural patterns and rounded shape. And as curves are like everywhere in the natural world, and it will help to create that flow to forge human nature connection through natural components that are adopted. So here are some of the renders, like all the partitions are of like curves and there's no sharp edges and so on. Yeah, that's all from a presentation. Thank you.